When the Stars Fall Quiet by Melissa R. Mendelson. Logline. At the end of the world, Nan was left alone with a busted robot. But in the blinking lights, it was the busted robot that reminded Nan that she was still human. The room felt cold. It was always cold. The rough, brown blanket barely contained the warmth. The pillows were flat and the sheets were raw. The bed squeaked as a body tossed and turned. The screws were loose and the frame threatened to break, leaving the mattress to fall to the floor. Nan awoke at the sound of the frame cracking. She tried to move, but the headboard crashed to the floor. The footboard followed. The mattress slammed down onto the wooden floor, rattling her body. At least no bones broke. Nan staggered to her feet. She stumbled back. Normally she would grab the footboard for support, but it was lying in pieces. She bumped into the mattress. Her breath caught in her throat. She paused, waited a moment, and took a step forward. "Where the fuck are you?" Nan roared. "Didn't you hear the crash?" Rusty hurried into the room. He pushed the bedroom door open. It fell off its hinges. He watched the door fall to the floor. His gray eyes flinched at the sound that it made. "I'm sorry," his hollow voice pierced the room. "I thought you fell out of the bed again." "The fucking bed broke." Nan pulled on a robe, covering her thin pink nightgown. "You were supposed to fix the screws so that wouldn't happen." Rusty's gray eyes blinked. "Do you remember, or are your batteries running low?" "I don't use batteries," Rusty replied. "I just need to recharge. The power's out." "Wasn't it out yesterday?" "Yes, and the day before that, which is why it is 54 degrees in the house." "So much for a hot shower," Nan replied, rubbing her thin arms. "And the food?" "Food?" Rusty blinked again. "I threw everything out that was in the fridge and freezer, which wasn't much." "What's left?" Nan asked. "Cereal, tuna fish, peanut butter, crackers, white bread, but it has green stuff on it." "That's mold. Throw it out." "Everything?" "No, you tin can. The white bread, unless you want to make me sick." "Finding a doctor would be real hard right now." "There are no doctors," Nan replied. "Now get out. I need to change." "You don't have any clean clothes left." "I'll find something. Now get out. I don't need you staring at me while I change." She watched Rusty back out of the room, bumping into the wall. "Can you do something about the power?" "Like what?" "Like fixing it. Jesus, I'm better off talking to the cat." "The cat died, remember?" "Get out. I'm changing." Nan would have closed the door in Rusty's face, but the door was lying on the floor. "I'll be in the kitchen in a few minutes." "I'll set up the lanterns. I hope they don't need batteries." Rusty disappeared down the hall. The floor creaked under his weight. A board snapped. "Watch your step on the stairs." "Jesus," Nan muttered. "At least the house hasn't fallen down yet." Nan pulled her robe tighter. She was so cold. She could go for a hot shower, a hot soup, or even a hot tea. She just wanted to be warm again. She glanced over at the bedroom window. It was boarded up. Maybe she would use some of that wood for a fire, but that would mean she would have to look outside. "What's for lunch?" Nan wore gray jogging pants that barely fit her, but they kept her legs warm. She had on a black t-shirt. She'd be freezing in it, but she kept the robe on as well. Her bare feet dodged the hole in the stairs, but caught a splinter. She winced as she walked into the kitchen. "Peanut butter and tuna sandwich with water. You did have bottled water left." "Did? Did you also use up the peanut butter and tuna?" "I believe I did," Rusty replied, looking at the empty jar of peanut butter in his hand. "Is that the white bread with the mold?" "Oh, yes, it is." Rusty grabbed a kitchen knife out of the drawer. He scraped the peanut butter and tuna fish off the bread and onto the plate. "Lunch is ready." "I'm not hungry." Nan watched Rusty throw out the moldy bread. "So, no power, no heat, no food and water." "That's great, just great. And you're running low on batteries." "I told you I don't use batteries." "No, you need a jolt to the head." Nan ignored his blinking. "Guess I'll put my boots on then." "You're going outside? You haven't been out there in a long time." "Almost 5 years. It's not like we're going to see anybody, and I need to survive. I can't survive like this." She stared at the peanut butter and tuna gooped together on the plate. "We have to go outside." I cannot protect you out there. It's not safe. Do we have a choice? She watched Rusty blink. I don't think we do. I'm old, but I'm not weak. Where's my gun? You left it outside almost 5 years ago. A kitchen knife will do. Against those things? Those things used to be human. Nan put on her steel-toed boots. She flinched as her foot with the splinter went into the shoe. She'll have to pull that thing out later. Coming? She removed the boards from the front door. We can use this for firewood later. Oh, and get another kitchen knife. We'll need it. Rusty stood behind her, clutching a kitchen knife in each hand. He blinked, almost as if afraid of the concept of going outside, which was comical coming from him. He was safe. She wasn't. I am ready, and his grip tightened over the knives. One knife snapped in his hand, and he dropped it to the floor. Give me that. Nan grabbed the other knife from Rusty. Luckily, she didn't cut herself. Otherwise, they would have smelled the blood and come running. Okay, let's do this. And she pulled the front door open. Nan stepped outside into the dark. She couldn't remember when she saw the sun. It was a long time ago, and she missed the warmth. Her legs shook. She cursed at herself, trying to steady her balance, and Rusty used to help her. But he acted like a child. He needed to recharge whenever that was going to happen, if that happened. If she lost him, then she'd be completely alone. Nan moved down what was left of the street. The neighborhood was once beautiful, so bright. Neighbors came and went. Children laughed and played. And then everything changed. And some of them were evacuated. Some of them were left to die. She was lucky enough to have Rusty before that happened, and he was the best friend she could have ever wished for. It's so dark, Nan replied. So cold. I miss the sun. Isn't that it? Rusty pointed to the sky. No, that's the moon. She looked at the houses that were still standing. She had to be careful that those things weren't hiding in them. It was too late for her to become like them, but that wouldn't stop them from tearing into her. What was left of her, anyway. Skin and bone. But they were starving. She was sure of that. So she had to be careful. Where are we going? Are we going into the houses? Quiet, Rusty. They'll hear you. It's been almost 5 years, Nan. They may be dead. They don't live too long. She flinched at the sound of her name. It's been too long since she heard it. She had to remind herself sometimes what her name was. Say it again, she said. They may be dead. They don't live too long. No, Rusty, my name. Say my name. Nan. Your name is Nan, and mine is Rusty. You named me when you found me. Yes, I did. She stepped away from him. Are you my mother? Nan flinched. She lost her family a long time ago. No, I'm nobody's family. And we're heading to the Peterson house. They should have food there and maybe water. If their house is still standing, Rusty blinked. Just saying. If it's still standing, maybe we'll just stay there. The Peterson house was still standing. There was even a small light on upstairs. Was someone home? Were they human? She hoped so. Hello? Nan knocked on the front door. She hated making noise, calling to their attention, but she wanted to know. Was someone else alive? She needed to know that she wasn't alone. The front door creaked open. Hello? And she peered inside. No one is there. Rusty pushed the front door open and it crashed into a wall. See? He stepped into the hallway. No one is there. The sound of a shotgun clicking back made Nan jump. Before she could react, the shotgun fired off, blowing a hole in the wall near Rusty. The shotgun clicked back again, and Nan raised her arms up over her head. Rusty did the same, blinking as he did it. Nan held her breath as the stairs creaked. Something heavy moved down them. Tears stung her eyes. She tried to pierce the darkness. Were they human? But her hope fell as another Rusty appeared, still aiming the shotgun at them. What do you want? That Rusty asked. To survive, her Rusty replied. Not my problem, that Rusty said. Where are the people? Nan blurted out. Where are your owners? Are they upstairs? Are they safe? They are dead. They've been dead for almost 5 years now. Why aren't you? How dare you? How dare you say that to me? My Rusty kept me alive, safe until now. Why would you do that? That Rusty looked at hers. There was no point. If there are survivors, they are long gone. No point saving this one. Nan's Rusty stepped in front of her. She is my mother, he said. I will protect her. You're barely operational. Give it a few hours, maybe a day, and it won't matter. Neither will she. That Rusty lowered the shotgun. You want supplies? Food? Water? Go ahead. Take what you can carry. But if you come back, you'll be sorry. And you're, what, guarding an empty house? This is my house. I don't report to anybody, and I don't need anybody. Don't you miss human contact? Nan asked. I am not human, so no. Now stop wasting my time. That Rusty waved the shotgun at her. Nan moved as fast as she could. Her legs felt weak, but she managed to walk into the kitchen. She found a bucket under the sink. She filled it up with what she could find in the cabinets. There was an extra water bottle in the fridge. She took it. All the while, the two Rusties stared at each other. Only hers was blinking. Thank you. Nan carried the bucket to the front door. Don't thank me, that Rusty said. This is your fault, your nature to destroy yourselves. Congratulations, you did. Nan flinched as the front door slammed shut. She struggled to carry the bucket, but it slipped from her grasp. Her Rusty picked it up and carried it for her. She followed him back to the house. As she did, she was surprised to find tears once again running down her face. Why are you crying? Rusty asked. Because you're dying, Nan said, and I can't save you. Rusty placed the bucket by her front door. It's not your fault, he said. That Rusty was wrong to say that. I could have switched you off. Save your power. I didn't think about it, and I didn't want to be alone. I was selfish. And now you're dying. It was just a matter of time, Rusty blinked. What about you? What will you do? I don't know. Nan stared down at the ground. I don't want to be alone, and I'm afraid. I don't know what's waiting for me out there. You might have enough for a year if you're still here. He looked over at the bucket. Then you might have to venture out again, see what's out there. Not tonight. Nan forced a smile. How about peanut butter sandwiches on rye? Then we can sit on the roof like we used to and watch the stars. Rusty stared up at the sky. He looked at the stars for a long moment. I would like that, he said. Nan, he added almost with a smile. Me too. Nan picked up the bucket and walked into the house. Coming? In a moment. Rusty looked up at the stars again. His gaze shifted over to the front door. Goodbye, Nan. Nan stepped outside. She stared at Rusty. He was not blinking anymore. His gray eyes were dark. Goodbye, son. And she closed the front door.